probably don't. He just out there putting it out there just anywhere. So he's not even being responsible. And that's the sad part about it.
I just wanted to say, like, you know, I'd like to think that if I was a woman, or if I was in the position of a woman where I could get pregnant, and like we have like birth control, we have like condoms, we have so many methods that women can use for like contraception and all that. I always wonder, why would a woman put herself in a position to be left to raise a baby alone? Like, why wouldn't a woman want to put a man in a position where it's like you make him get locked in first before you do that? Because I just know, like, because we have so many options, and yet so many women still decide that even with no assurances from the man at all, that they're willing to have a baby, they're willing to bring the baby to term. And it's like, you know, like we fought, like women have fought to be able to have the option to terminate a pregnancy if necessary, to be able to have contraception, to be able to have birth control and all those things. And even with all of those things in place, so many women still say, no, I still want to do this on my own, knowing the risks involved. So that's the thing that boggles my mind. Like, what is the possible incentive or reason that a woman would want to do that? Because I think that if I was a woman, I would want to be like, no, before I have a baby with you, you need to put a ring on this finger, or you need to lock me down, because I need some type of assurances that I'm not going to be alone with this kid, you know? So I just, that's one thing I've just never been able to understand. And I'm hoping maybe some of the ladies can give insight, because obviously I'm not a woman. I can't really understand that.
I think it's selfishly for monetary reasons.
Yeah, I don't
Anytime
think
a woman,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Coco. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, anytime a woman intentionally, I mean, if she wants to have a kid knowing that she's gonna be the only one, there's a ultimate goal outside of the man for that baby. I have two friends that don't want to be married and they just want to have kids too. And they're planning, they're knowing that if this guy don't want to be around, I'm fine. Like, that's just where we're at now. And there are some that I know they had kids with the intentions that they were going to be with that person. One girl, 3 baby daddies, 3 kids, but the first one died, give her reception. The second one disappeared, and the third one they're not together. So I think a lot of it is situational, but all 3, she was in love with them and she thought they was going to be together. It's the decisions and the person you choose.
That's what I was saying. Naive. That's all I had to say. Some people might be naive, and like she said, for monetary value, like.
I
So
almost
go
I
ahead.
almost feel it's like playing the lottery, right? Like you have to play in order to win. So when you're dealing with guys like him who are not necessarily high value but high earning, either you can secure them by being with them, getting married to them, and having that life, or you could secure them for the next 18 years because now they're at least financially responsible for this child that they had. They may not be in that child's life 24/7, but at least you still are attached to that person in some capacity. So you may not get all the perks, but you get some of them. That's how I see it. I mean, it could be different. I don't have any kids with a Trayvon Diggs or anything like that, so I don't know. But just on the outside looking in at how this cycle is repeated, that's what I see. Because it didn't just start with her. People have been linked to athletes for years and haven't necessarily married them, but they had kids with them and they built a great lifestyle for themselves just off of being with that person. And that's just the truth. And it's not just with athletes, it's just with wealthy men in general.
What about with like broke dudes? Because I see that happen with broke dudes too in the hood. Like, dude will have nothing and he'll have like 6 kids.
I don't know. Maybe you all can answer that.
I think that's a different
I don't want
situation.
to chime in on broke niggas, but I want to chime in on something about that. Like, y'all, I don't feel like there's a way to even discuss this without bringing up patriarchy. Like, y'all might hear me say this in more than one sitting because this is the now. This is what it is. This is where we are coming from. Okay, we can't control the adverse reactions, the spectrum of reactions to patriarchy or to anything, right? Like something can happen. Boom, there are a bunch of different reactions that come from stuff like that. I'm gonna bring it around, Cloud. Hold on, because you look like you got something to say about patriarchy.
I'm
And
just a
act
little
like that.
confused. But go ahead, do your thing, baby. Do your thing.
So all I'm saying is, if we go from a system, right? Because if anybody doesn't know what patriarchy is, it is a system set up to benefit men. And I know, especially our brothers, y'all have a hard time accepting that a system was made for men to be above women. But let's look at the Bible. There were stories ripped out of there that would to make women feel less or look less. Look at how women's basketball, people like, oh, I thought all women, that just got famous, right? I thought all the girls basketball players was gay, or they didn't see the value in it until now when we see it. Oh, damn. Angel Reese fine as hell. Oh, this person fine. Like, we're starting to get a rise of women's sports all of a sudden, when they've been around for a long time. But it was really about men. It was really, again, I talked about this last time, men being able to provide for their homes and women not being able to work less than 100 years ago, right? So there's a disconnect. And I'm bringing that around to say this, to say, like, if we have a situation like Joey, right, she might say, you know what? Okay, do I gotta go choose a regular life and go to work every day and stress myself out and pay these bills, or I'm finna sit on my ass and I'm finna go use what God gave me in this short time of life, and I'm gonna go live a great life, right? Because we know if we living off of a child support check of $50 million, that's more money than a lot of people gonna see in their whole lifetime. So she's making choices that at the end of the day benefit her. You know what I'm saying? It may not be to somebody's taste buds, it may not be to people's liking, but if we're talking about a difference in economic status, it's a choice. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I struggle? Why would I struggle if I could do that? Now, that might not be my choice, but I'm saying that to say, I also, like Kelly said earlier, I'm not with a Tay, or I'm not with a Future. I'm not with, and not to say that I wouldn't be open to something like that, but I'm going to look at him too and be like, now you got too many kids. That might just be too much for me to deal with. It might not be a price tag that you can put on that for some women, but for some women who have been doing this, paying the bills and a mortgage and a phone and a car and all the things by themselves with no man, because they don't want to be controlled. They don't want to be abused. They don't want to be talking about half and half, raising children, cleaning the house, and all of the things it's a job. It's still a job. So, I mean, maybe she just chose her job on that ass and let me develop that ass so that I could be sitting on a different type of check than some people would ever see.